Okay, now is a good time to introduce the idea of references. So we've created this data table for our data file. And in the process of defining this, we had a term called inversions that we created a definition for. Okay. But in our data table here, we didn't make this data set ourselves. Okay, we downloaded this from another source. So we shouldn't take credit for this. We need to give a reference. We have to give credit to someone else who originated this data set. And likewise, under inversion, I didn't take these pictures. I didn't take a picture of this loop-to-loop, and I didn't take a picture of this corkscrew. Now, when I downloaded these, I got these from Wikipedia, and these images were freely licensed, meaning you can use them, don't make a profit from them, just give a reference to them. Okay, so that's what we're going to do. So the template that I gave you has a section called references here at the bottom. Okay, and you can pause the video here. You can kind of read what I've got on referencing a data set. And let's see here, referencing a picture in Wikipedia. All right. But basically, I'm trying to follow these two formats as closely as reasonably possible. So here for the loop-to-loop picture, I've got the date that this picture was submitted in Wikipedia. Next, I've got the name of the JPEG file that I downloaded, and this is a photograph. It came from the Library of Congress. This is the digital ID, and I accessed this on August 28th, 2023, and I just went to the top of the web browser and copied and pasted the web link to the page I was looking at. And when you're referencing pictures, you should put the photographer or the author of that picture, in which case this one in Wikipedia said that, author unknown, so I didn't put one here. But the corkscrew picture did have a photographer. It had their name. So, it's last name, comma, first name, and then you put parentheses photographer, and then the date the picture was posted, and on Wikipedia, that was June 21st, 2007. This was the name of the JPEG file, and this was a photograph. And I accessed it on August 28th, 2023. And the web page to that picture, I just copied and pasted from Wikipedia. And so those are the two pictures I used in the inversion definition. Now, as far as the data file is concerned, first you put the authors of the data set. And so I don't actually know the names of the people, because this data set came from the DASL website. But in the DASL website, it did say it came from the roller coaster database or the rcdb.com. So I am going to put that down as the author for the data set. And then you're supposed to put the year, I think, of that data set. So I put 2015. And then you put the title of the data set in italics. So then I put comma. And the name of my data set was coasters 2015.txt. So I selected that text and then came up here to this font section under the home menu and selected I for italicize. Okay, that italicizes it. Version, I didn't have a version. Format, I don't think there's anything special here, so I didn't add a format. For a publisher, that's where I put the data and story library, or the DASL datadescription.com. This is the website you went to download your data set. So I'm considering that to be the publisher. here. That'll be good enough for our needs. And then the last entry you want to put in is the URL or the web page address. So I just copied this from my Chrome browser and pasted the address here. And so because it's all one line, it put it on the next line down. Okay, so this is the reference to the loop-the-loop picture. This is the reference to the corkscrew picture. And this is a reference to the data file that I downloaded and I'm basing this whole report on. And so this reference for the loop-to-loop, this is the first reference. This is the corkscrew picture is the second reference. And the data file is the third. So we've got 1, 2, and 3. So now what we need to do is put 1, 2, and 3 next to each of those items in our report. So let's go up to inversion. And so we need to put a 1 surrounded by brackets down the lower right corner of this picture. So I'm going to click here on the edge of the picture. May not be able to see the cursor blinking, but it's on the right-hand side of this picture. And if I hit enter, okay, it's going to go down one more line. And now I can put, bracket, space 1, space, right bracket. And I want it on the right-hand side. So I can left click and drag to select this bracket 1 bracket. And I can change the formatting to right justified up here. And that puts it right where I need it. And I can do the same thing here with this one. So I can click to the right of the image, hit enter. So that brings me at one line below the picture. And now I can hit bracket, space, 2, space, bracket. I can select that and then right justify it like that. Okay. So now someone who's reading this paper will look at this and go, oh, that's interesting. Where does that come from? It's reference 1. So they can come to references, look at reference 1 and go, oh, that's where it came from. And likewise with the corkscrew picture. So this clearly shows you got this from somewhere else. It's not yours, and you're giving credit where credit is due for something that was not yours. All right, we just need to do that also now with our data table. So on the left-hand side, just left click on data table. And it can be tricky, although I did it there. If you can put the cursor to the right of this, kind of splitting hairs, and then you can hit enter, and that should, oh, that didn't work. Okay, let's undo that. All right, we don't want to add another row. So a way to get underneath this is to actually click down here in the caption cell that we've got and click here at the end and hit the up arrow once. All right, and now here we can put bracket, space, 3, space, bracket, and right justify that. And now that's in the lower right-hand corner. Okay, so now when you introduce something new, another picture, for example, or another figure, you're going to need to create a reference for it. So now I've kind of gotten you started with making references down here in the reference section. And I've shown you how you can add that reference to images and maybe to a table.